The truth about electric car. Want to know what it's really like to drive an electric car? Have you ever thought about whether they're really the way of the future or just a passing fad? This movie tells you the truth about electric cars, busts some common myths, and looks at the groundbreaking new ideas that are changing the car business. Are you ready to learn how life could be different with an electric car? Watch this space, you won't want to miss this exciting trip into the world of EVs. Electric cars are more efficient, cleaner, and certainly a lot quieter. Nevertheless, for every favorable aspect of them, a substantial amount of false information exists online with the intention of impeding their unavoidable ascent. Some of it you may believe, but a great deal of it is propaganda cloaked in specific politics and spread by people with a stake in maintaining the status quo. Sometimes it's just fueled by someone retweeting a meme they found amusing. These are just a few of the electric car myths and realities. Driving an EV is not as much fun. The hypercars are entertaining, but only while traveling straight ahead. Electric hypercars are incredibly exciting to drive in a straight line. When you floor the accelerator in a Rimac Nevera, Pininfarina Battista, or Lucid Air Sapphire, your brain will shrink to the size of a walnut, your vision will become blurry, and your stomach will be pressed against the back of the seat. Other than hypercars traveling at fast speed, driving an electric car is often far less exciting. When you turn a corner, you're turning a corner. You're anticipating the entry, easing on the brakes, engaging the clutch, matching the RPM, downshifting, dive-bombing the apex, and confidently and cleanly pulling out in a gas car with a manual transmission and a robust exhaust burble. Cobalt is occasionally utilized as an element on the positive terminal of a battery, or the cathode, however, is sometimes sourced unethically. The cathode may overheat or possibly catch fire if cobalt isn't added. However, cobalt mining is frequently carried out in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where labor standards are laxer and cobalt mining is concentrated. Work by Charles Wren. According to the nonpartisan government research tank, the Wilson Center, 70% of cobalt mining occurs in Congo, which also produces more than half of the world's cobalt. 40,000 of the 255,000 miners in the DRC are miners, according to the Wilson Center. Cobalt for Development is an organization made up of businesses such as Samsung, BMW, and Volkswagen that was established to support ethical and safer practices in the DRC's cobalt mining industry. Tesla became a member of the Fair Cobalt Alliance, an organization with many of the same objectives. Other electric vehicle manufacturers are still pursuing moral materials. Thus, the issue is being handled. And while child labor is something all governments must battle to abolish, the sad reality is it is used to produce everything from bamboo and bricks to cabbages, carpets, cashews, livestock, and chocolate all over the world, according to the U.S. Department of Labor. In at least 5 nations, including China, child labor is also employed in the coal mining industry. Thus, the issue, which is a significant issue, is not limited to cobalt mining. EVs require more time to charge, at least right now. Even though quick charging technology is advancing significantly, we discussed Renewables' 6-minute charge last month. For example, long trips in electric cars still require some preparation. You could just plug in when you get home and unplug before you leave for work the next morning if you want to utilize an EV on a daily basis. It's cost-effective because rates can drop overnight. With the possible exception of the Tesla supercharger network, which is still inaccessible to some, the current public fast-charging electric vehicle network is somewhat disorganized. For as long as you own your car, the majority of public chargers are owned by various businesses who want you to download their app, register, and never use anybody else's plugs. And good luck with those 800 numbers. Anecdotal evidence indicates that in any given metropolitan region, about half of the public chargers aren't functioning for some reason. According to a new J.D. Power survey, the availability of charging stations is a major obstacle to the increased adoption of electric vehicles among U.S. consumers. However, public gas stations were scarce even in the early days of internal combustion engines. Street of power two-way. When EV batteries are employed as a medium for storing electric energy during the day when solar power is abundant, and then discharge that stored energy in the late afternoon and evening when demand persists, the existence of big EV fleets may actually assist balance the grid. According to a 2023 analysis by MIT researchers, recharging that occurs during the day when solar is available could reduce or eliminate the need for expensive new power plants to satisfy peak loads. When owners drive their electric cars home at night and plug them in, they can also refuel. When no one is consuming power, additional grid capacity could be quickly consumed by overnight charging. It will be necessary to change the battery frequently and expensively. Every battery in electric vehicles sold in the United States is covered by a legally required 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty. A 10-year/150,000-mile warranty is required in California. Rivian warranties their large pack battery with quad-motor drivetrains for 8 years or 175,000 miles, whichever comes first. Granted, no one knows what happened later. Maybe this one belongs in the ugly truths section of the tale, or somewhere in between, as there isn't enough data to create an exact chart about battery life just yet. Extended life batteries. After 150,000 miles of driving, Tesla batteries normally retain at least 90% of their initial charge, according to a crowdsourced study by Tesla owners worldwide that was featured in our sister site Car and Driver. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory's predictive modeling suggests that modern batteries could endure 8 to 12 years in harsh temperatures and 12 to 15 years in mild climates. According to Recurrent Auto, which offers vehicle reports for used electric cars to car dealers and private consumers, the rate of battery failure among its community of 15,000 EV owners is only 1.5%. Thus, it's likely that you won't require a new battery for a while. Even still, there is little information available about the price of a new battery, and as battery manufacturing technology advances over the next 8 to 10 years, that price will undoubtedly vary. According to J.D. Power, a Tesla Model 3 battery replacement will set you back $13,000, although current data indicates you won't need to replace it. In hot or cold weather, electric automobiles cannot operate. That was undoubtedly the case with the initial electric vehicles prior to improvements in battery pack temperature control. At 70 degrees F, EV batteries perform at their best. A portion of the energy used to charge your automobile while it is plugged in goes toward keeping the battery at its ideal temperature. An ambient temperature of 20 degrees F resulted in a 12% decrease of combined driving range and an 8% decrease of combined equivalent fuel economy, according to a 2019 AAA research. However, there was a reduction of 41% in combined driving range and 39% in combination equivalent fuel economy when the interior heating was turned on. The same 41% number was found by the U.S. Department of Energy. Consumer Reports conducted an independent testing on 5 distinct EVs on a day that was below freezing and discovered that all of the EVs had a 25% decrease in range. Efficiency should rise when more effective heat pumps take the place of resistive heaters in EVs. Compared to a standard space heater, which consumes electricity like a toaster, a heat pump uses between 25% and 33% less energy by compressing air to heat it and sending it into the cabin. Yet, in cold conditions, you will still experience a decrease in efficiency, so make a plan in advance. Landfills are likely to get contaminated by all those batteries. Once more, at this point in the EV adoption process, there isn't enough information to predict with certainty what will happen to spent batteries. Most of them are still in cars as of right now. Still, there are encouraging advancements in every field. For example, think about reusing batteries before recycling them. Many propose batteries. In Lancaster, California, the business by the name of B2 who recycles partially used electric vehicle car batteries by using them to store energy from solar farms during the day and release it onto the grid at dusk. Additionally, they can be recycled once their new use has been completed. With the capacity to recover 95% on an electric car's battery pack, Volkswagen established its first battery recycling facility in Salzgitter, Germany 2 years ago. Creating a closed-loop domestic supply chain for lithium-ion batteries across collection, refurbishment, recycling, refining, and remanufacturing of sustainable battery materials is the stated goal of Redwood Materials, which is located adjacent to the Tesla Gigafactory in Carson City, Nevada. According to Redwood, closing the loop at the end of life is necessary to make batteries affordable and sustainable. For the first time, we're creating anode and cathode components in the United States and localizing a global battery supply chain using as many used batteries as we can. Additionally, battery recycling startups are proliferating worldwide. In May at the ACT Expo, we got to know the Li-Cycle crew. Li-Cycle claims to be an expert in recycling lithium batteries. The company will ensure the batteries submerge the pieces in an aqueous solution to allow the heavy metals to sink to the bottom, and then extract the various minerals lithium carbonate, nickel sulfate, cobalt sulfate, manganese carbonate, and copper sulfide that are required to create or reassemble batteries. According to Li-Cycle, its recycling method may recover up to 95% of battery-grade materials. There are more companies recycling batteries emerging. Once more, there is still a hint of the Wild West here. More businesses will emerge to sort of lead the charge as more EVs reach retirement age. Are electric vehicles, therefore, the way of the future? It appears to be inevitable for sure. Batteries, infrastructure, and drivetrain technologies are all still advancing. It doesn't follow that all the details won't be resolved anytime soon, just because some aren't as clear as internal combustion infrastructure. The greatest issues may not be so much technology as they are social, removing the false information that powerful interests in the present quo are trying to spread. Getting past it could be the hardest challenge of all. Stay ahead of the curve with all the latest insights into electric vehicles and cutting-edge tech. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to watch our in-depth reviews, exclusive interviews, and much more.